Hi, guys. Welcome to our first episode on Brothers United. Today, I'm here with Michael and Quinton, and we're going to talk about myths surrounding prostate cancer, especially in Jamaica. So, I'm going to make Michael introduce himself first, and then we're going to go to Quinton.
Hi, Brianna. Thanks for having us. Hi, I'm Michael Giordini, chairman for Brothers United Against Prostate Cancer. We are a prostate cancer support group. We're here to give any kind of emotional, spiritual, psychological support to recently uh, confirmed patients with prostate cancer, and of course, to those who have already been diagnosed with prostate cancer, as well as their caregivers. We think it's critical because, well, first of all, I should say I'm a cancer survivor. Since September 2010, right, did prostate surgery, or radical prostatectomy, which is, in layman's terms, just completely removed my prostate. And thank God, here I am alive and kicking. I think that's about it.
Thank you. Okay, Quinton.
Okay, so I'm Quinton. 5 years ago, I think, and when I was 48, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. In When I was 49, I did a radical prostatectomy, and one of the things with a radical prostatectomy is that it not only removes your prostate, it removes the seminal vesicles as well, and they then test them. When they tested mine, they realized that I had what they called spread, or a slight spread. So what that then meant was that after doing surgery, I had to immediately, or in a opportune time, I think I had to wait 6 months, as quickly as I could. I then had to do radiation. So I am somebody who had prostate cancer, who had to do both, but two of the types of treatments: surgery and radiation, right? And in my journey with prostate cancer, I realized that one of the areas that prostate cancer management, treatment, prevention could be helped is by increased awareness. And that was why Jamaica's prostate cancer rates are alarming. That is why prostate cancer, when I looked at the last Ministry of Health cancer death records, is now the largest cancer killer in Jamaica. And that was scary, because I believe that that happens because of ignorance. The man them just don't know. Because if they did know that this is a silent killer, it's the largest cancer killer. Nobody talks about it. And because nobody talks about it, many men die. Just like that. Because they're ignorant of the facts surrounding it. They think of it as a death knell. Anything to do with male reproductive areas and organs is sacrosanct. Don't touch me there. And that will get you dead. And that's why I'm a member of Brothers United, and that is why I advocate for men, but cancer sufferers, because we live in a society where health resources are, yeah, right. So whatever you can do, you have got to do to give yourself a fighting chance. And I think I want to leave it there for now. So that's just me.
Thank you. Thank you for both of those introductions. So let's get right into it. So, guys, we're going to play a quick game of myth or fact, where I'm going to say a statement, and Michael and Quinton are going to tell me if it's a myth, not true, or a fact, meaning that is very true. And I remember our conversation a few weeks ago on this topic. So I wanted to start off with this question in particular, because we were concerned, or we were kind of confused about if this statement I'm about to say was true or not. So I'm going to hit you guys with it. So the first one is, here's a statement. My dad had prostate cancer, so I will too. Is that a myth or a fact?
But can I say it's half and half? You don't must get prostate cancer if your dad had it. However, um, my dad had prostate cancer and I ended up having it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure when we do the future podcast with the urologist, they will tell you
Right.
that a lot of the times, prostate cancer sufferers are first-time cancer sufferers,
Mm.
right? They'll tell you even the percentage. So what I say to men is that, listen, we need to screen early, pay attention to your prostate health, and if you notice anything, get it treated. It's when you notice something that you start looking back and saying, hold on there. But my
Mm.
uncle did have this, hold
Mm-hmm.
on there. But my cousin did dead of this. Hold on there. So for us, anecdotally, we're saying, hang on a minute. But my uncle did have it, my grandfather did have it, my granduncle dead from it. So we are thinking that there is a genetic link. However, the researchers are going to say, I want to tell you something, a lot more persons who have never had cancer or never had cancer in their family display or end up getting it. So I look at it halfway in the middle and I say, listen, it is important for you to just make sure you get screened early and you take care of your prostate health. You be aware of what's happening so that once something happens, you can act. But that is where the problem is. Something is happening and you don't realize it. Something is happening, you realize it and you don't act. That's how I answer that. I don't know how Mike will answer that.
Hold on, Printer, let me stop you there. Have you ever taken GSAT? You can't put A and B. You have to say A
Right.
or B. So, the answer
And
is myth or fact. I never asked 50%.
So I'm going to say it depends. Oh, I hate Pep. Michael, you answer that question.
Okay.
I leaving it alone.
All right.
I say what I say already.
Well, if I remember, I was neither PEP nor GSAT. I was common entrance, and I think we used to do written answers in those days.
Oh wow.
But let me say, there is everything that Quinton has said is correct. The important thing is to get it checked, right? That is not in question at all. My own experience looking back when I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, I look back into my family. I had an uncle, my father's eldest brother, and his son, who of course would be my first cousin. He also had prostate issues. In fact, his sister had cancer too, of course, not prostate. So there seems to be, and there seems to be growing evidence of some genetic link with cancer.
Okay, so the answer is, drum roll,
Closer to fact.
It's a myth. So the researchers said if a man has one relative with prostate cancer, say a father, brother, or uncle, his chances of getting it are 2 times higher than someone who does not have this history. Meaning everyone is still at risk. Just because your dad never had it doesn't mean you won't have it, or just because your dad doesn't mean
you're
that
gonna get it.
Definitely have it. So
correct.
Those are the facts. So round of applause for round 1. So we're gonna go to the next one. All right, I'm gonna say the statement: myth or fact. Only old men get prostate cancer.
Can I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Michael, you're gonna start.
Define old. No. Again, get screened once you're at age 40. I remember, in fact, I can say when I was diagnosed in 2010, at that time, I think they were talking about age 50.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the professionals are asking for screening at 40. Right. So in less than 13 years, or just about 13 years, that age has come down. That's my answer. I don't know.
And I'm going to say,
no.
Being diagnosed as 48, I think that gives you the answer right there. Because prostate cancer was seen as an old man's disease.
Mhm.
I know people 40 who have been diagnosed.
Yeah.
What I say to people is if there is a history of cancer in your family, screen earlier. What I tell men is this: watch and listen to your body.
Right.
If you notice something happening, having problem peeing, etc., you need to get it investigated. You don't wait. The answer to that, I don't think that is true. It is not an old man's disease, though in the past it was seen as such. Evidence is suggesting that younger men are being diagnosed now
Right.
with it.
So the answer is, you guys were correct. It was a myth. Even though people think it affects old men, you can get it at any age. Even though the risk is lower for younger men, you can still get it at any age. It's uncommon to, even if it's still possible to be diagnosed with cancer in your 40s, it's uncommon, but it is still a possibility. So don't think just because it's an old man's disease, you are fine and free. Okay, the last one for a quick answer. Yeah, I know this one might be one a lot of Jamaican men are thinking, but here's a statement. Treatment for prostate cancer always causes impotence or incontinuance. Oh,
Incontinence.
sorry. Yes. What are we saying? What are we saying? Myth?
Michael, you take that first.
Myth. Doesn't always.
Yeah.
It varies with, oh gosh, every patient is different. The stage at which the cancer was found is critical. The treatment done, the procedure, how well it was done, the physical state of the patient. I mean, there's so many, but it is a myth. It doesn't have to end in incontinence and impotence, not at all.
You're going to have to make allowances and changes in your life and lifestyle.
Right.
You can still get the same result or a similar result, but how do I get it? I can't do it the same way I did it. How then do I need to do it? What modifications do I need to make? And that is a part of the unfortunate reality for many prostate cancer patients. They do the surgery and they just stop.
Right.
And that's where patients then have problems. Because you have to manage now. You have to realize, okay, this is a new thing. How do I do it? You know, there are many therapies that can be used to assist patients with impotence and incontinence. But at the end of the day, it is the patient's ability to be disciplined, stick to a treatment regimen, find a treatment regimen that works, and stick with it. And that is the key.
If I could add, first and foremost is the importance of your spouse, or your partner. It's critical. It's critical. It's critical because, as Quinton just said, some men just say, hey, forget it. This is over.
Yeah.
Not true. It needs a conversation. It needs continued conversation from the outset. You know, your wife or your spouse is called in with the urologist, and you look at the various approaches. Which method would you prefer? Which one can you afford? What are the pros and the cons of either? And once you well, like any relationship, it's about communication. So the communication, and without that, there's going to be no intimacy in any case, whether you can function or not.
Right.
Without that communication, it ain't going to happen. No intimacy is going to take place in any case.
And I'm going to say this to dovetail on that, Mike. One of the podcasts that we're going to have to do, Bree, is about the mental part of it. Because what Mike is talking about there is how you're going to approach this mentally.
Right.
Because that's important. Because all Mike is talking about there is, okay, what you're going to say in your head, because you're going to have these questions. Oh, I can't this, I can't that, I can't. And they're like, whoa. You're stressing yourself unnecessarily. But we'll talk about that, I'm sure, in another podcast.
Thanks for coming to Myth or No Myth. We'll see you on next episode. Bye.